You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, I've got your early weekly spoilers for December 1st through the 5th. We're going to talk about Willow and Drew and some wedding chaos. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, reach down, hit that subscribe button. As we always do on early edition day, we're going to talk about what is coming the rest of this week and then dive into what is coming next week. And of course, this is a short week because it's Thanksgiving. We're already cooking at our house. You guys probably are as well. Let's dive right into it. On Wednesday, November 26th, we have Portia increasingly worried. Now, she knows that the clock is ticking on figuring out if this is Curtis's baby or Isaiah's baby, and Curtis walked out with the ultrasound and he's under the assumption it's his kid, and she already knows this is dodgy and is real mad at Jordan about all this. But also, she may be questioned by the police soon. So we'll see if Alexis pushes the police towards Portia to get that alibi. Fortunately, she has one, but unfortunately, it's going to mess up her personal life. Nathan surprises Dante on Wednesday. So Nathan already got Rocco out of juvie, which got him into a little bit of trouble with ADA Justine. And then Dante tells Nathan that they're going to have to come up with an effective counter argument. And this may be about Dalton's accusations, since he's not around to make any. And, you know, it's he said, she said, he said, since there's like 4 people involved. Lulu is looking for answers, and I'm sure it's about Rocco and Dalton. And Jason tells Lulu there's a reality that they need to face. So maybe Jason is hinting that the reality is Dalton may be gone for good and may not turn up to testify, because Jason knows, because he stuck his body somewhere. Aunt Stella is overjoyed when Curtis shows her the ultrasound photo that he got from Portia. But then Stella winds up really angry on Wednesday and is asking someone how many lives they plan on destroying. So maybe it's Drew because he's a jerk, or maybe it's Jordan because she's been getting closer to Curtis, and Stella isn't a fan of her getting between Curtis and Portia remaining together because Portia is pregnant, and of course Trina is on to Jordan. Brook, Lynn, and Chase are shocked, and this may be about Willow's ASAP wedding to Drew. And BLQ asked Chase if something means a lot to him, and I believe Brooklyn is talking to him about his mission to exonerate Willow and saving her from Michael and Drew. And of course, Brooklyn's attitude is Michael is family. However, you know, even his closest relatives admit that he may have shot Drew. I don't think he did. Of course, I also don't care if he did. I think it's fine. And Willow asks someone if they came to change her mind. I'm sure there's going to be several people trying to change her mind about marrying Drew. She let him put that ring back on her finger. I mean, it could be Michael, it could be Nina. There are so many options on people trying to talk Willow out of this nonsense. And Drew tells someone that he does not give up and he always gets what he wants. So Drew is at the Metrocourt restaurant, and it may be Michael that he's talking to, could be Nina. And again, with Drew, this is the kind of stuff he would say to anybody. I don't really think there's anybody in Port Charles that cares that he got shot except for the DA. Then on Thursday, November 27th, it is Thanksgiving. And by the way, we're not going to have Thanksgiving in Port Charles until next week, which is kind of bizarre, but that's what they're doing. So no new episode. Should not be a rerun either. Preempted for sports. I think it's football. I don't know. I don't like sports. So I keep the TV off, or we keep movies on Thanksgiving in our house. On Friday, November 28th, same thing. No new General Hospital episode. It'll be leftovers and more sports. The following week, though, things are going to pick back up with 5 full episodes. December 1st through the 5th, we are finally going to see Thanksgiving in Port Charles. And unfortunately, that means a Drew and Willow wedding. I'm guessing we're going to get a couple of days of Thanksgiving for their nuptials. They're doing a wedding at their house, but I'm really wondering if it's going to make it all the way to I do and man and wife. The last time they tried to get married, she freaked out about the whole Nina and Drew sexy thing and walked out. But this time, I honestly think Willow just feels trapped. She tried to talk Drew out of it, saying, you know, she doesn't want to marry for a situation, but for love. And then he laid all that, but don't you love me stuff on. It's a mess. And I hope he doesn't get what he wants. And given that Chase thinks Drew is awful and wants to save Willow from him too, I would expect Chase to amp up the efforts to break Michael's alibi as soon as possible and expose that he and Jacinda lied and try to get the charges against Willow dropped so she doesn't have to go through with this wedding. This may also motivate Alexis to drop Portia's name to the cops to also try and stop the wedding, because Alexis hates Drew, and obviously she doesn't want him to get what he wants, which is Willow. Nina Obrecht and Ava all have invitations to the redo Willow and Drew wedding, and I'm guessing Scout will be on hand. Liz is invited as the maid of honor, and literally nobody but Drew wants this wedding to happen. It's awful. It would be even more awful if Willow can't get out of this and actually marries that creep. So next week's action is going to be heavily centered on this wedding and breaking alibis and trying to do what they can to get Willow exonerated. I know fans are also hoping Drew doesn't get what he wants. Brooklyn and Gio continue to bond. Brooklyn was absolutely shocked when Gio called her mom and they hugged at the hospital. It was this major breakthrough, but unfortunately, it kind of came at the cost of Dante completely alienating Gio and of, you know, he's very upset about Rocco. The last time Dante got this upset at Gio about Rocco, you know, Gio didn't deserve it at all. Rocco and Danny were the ones who made the bad decisions before about the alcohol poisoning and all of that, and Gio was actually helping. This time, you know, he kind of does deserve some heat, but really Emma is ultimately to blame. But Dante's expectation is that Gio is a good and responsible big brother to Rocco, no matter that Gio doesn't want to be around Brooklyn or Dante, and that's fair. But I do think Brooklyn's going to try and reconcile Dante and Gio, make her best effort. Ned should be out of the ICU soon, but his heart crisis may cause some lingering problems. And Tracy is going to be very upset that Brooklyn and other family kept this from her. Britt is about to get busy plotting to destroy Sidwell. That's what I think is coming now that Britt found out that Sidwell had her precious Rocco attacked in juvie, and she had to see that and was horrified. Things are also about to go downhill for Michael because Chase won't stop, and Jacinda did lie. She lied to Michael about her alibi being legit because she, you know, wasn't elsewhere and she was with Ezra. Plus, Carly and Valentine are going to amp up their plotting against Jack.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.